Tip number 3, take away a pain or give them something valuable. Now, one of the things that I want you to consider is not just the pain or the problem that your product solves or your service, but also your offer specifically. So your offer might be a free consultation or a free quote or a free trial. So what I would try to do if you really want improved response rates and click-through rates and scheduling rates is focus on the offer itself and the benefits of the offer and what pains they're going to walk away with solutions for by having a conversation with you or whatever it is that your call to action is. So really this is about the fundamentals of marketing is what value are you providing? You know, it's one thing to talk about you and how you want to have a quick 15-minute chat. And I really don't like getting those messages from people. It's a huge turnoff. It's more about, or it's less about you and more about what is the value for them. And usually the value is you take away some problem they have. Ideally, it's some red hot pain that you're going to solve. Now, sometimes it's something they gain. Okay. And there are different types of things that people can gain. One are special incentives that I'm going to talk about in a second. And then the other is just the benefits of what your product does or what your demo consultation will offer. So let's go through some examples. Now, I mentioned special incentives. So the author's saying that giving somebody a gift card is not something that he recommends because he received one and he didn't really like it. But in general, he likes the idea of offering them something. I actually disagree with Tucker Max as the author on this particular point because I've had success with it and other colleagues of mine that specialize in demand generation and account-based marketing have had success with it as well. So I'm going to give you one example. Now, I wasn't actually trying to sell something in this particular case. I was just helping this health clinic try to get input for research. I was doing some consulting for them. And I ran a test with 2 different emails. And one email was appealing to their selflessness, saying, we want your input. We would appreciate it. And then the other was just offering them a Starbucks gift card. And the Starbucks gift card email performed far better because I focused on the offer, the special incentive, what you get out of the email. And marketers and salespeople have this problem all the time when they're trying to get feedback or responses from people, especially for things like research. People just don't respond. It's because you're disrespecting their time. You think that their time is free, that they should spend 30 minutes with you, even though there's a huge risk for them to do that, right? Your product may not solve their problem. You may just put a lot of pressure on them to buy. So there's a huge incentive to not respond to your cold email. But if you mitigate that risk considerably when you're like, here's $200. Okay, all we want you to do is listen to what we have to say. And this can dramatically improve performance. And it doesn't even need to be $100. I'm going to show you a case that was just $25 and it generated tons of pipeline revenue, tons of meetings. So lead with the offer and consider having a special incentive, especially if you're working with high value potential customers, especially when you're in like enterprise B2B or you're dealing with professionals. Now, this is the case I'm talking about, and it comes from SAS MQL. And in this case study, it was not just email. Okay, so the first step was to identify the target accounts, then send out a cold email. Basically, the cold email is just a heads up that there's a direct mail coming. And then in the direct mail, there's this package. And in the package is an incentive, which is for a $25 Amazon gift card, do a demo, and then directing them to this landing page here. Now, it's also best practice to, when you send direct mail, also send follow-up emails. So cold email, direct mail, follow-up emails. So heads up, direct mail is coming. Oh, did you get the direct mail? Here's a link to the landing page. And then the direct mail itself has a link to the landing page. And this is the landing page. It has a little picture of the $25 Amazon gift card. Okay, some of the things that are beneficial, what are valuable to them, so what they get out of responding, and then the schedulers right here. And let's look at the response rates. So there were 290 accounts. Percentage of engagement was about 34%. Cost per meeting, $114. That's really good. Campaign cost, $5K just for the campaign. Now there's going to be labor on top of that. So keep that in mind. Opportunities. So sales qualified opportunities, 25. Pipeline generate $300,000 ARR. So that's great. I mean, if the close rate on that is even 25% or a third, that's a lot of potential annual revenue for your business. And one of the critical things here is just having a special incentives for why they respond, because people are getting bombarded with requests for them to spend 15 minutes with you, 30 minutes with you, an hour with somebody else. If you add a little special incentive like that, it can go a long way. And so too can just focusing on the benefits and the pains that you take away by providing them with a meaningful conversation with you as an expert. I'm going to show you this example where I took a similar approach. And what I did was I found some highly influential people that ran Facebook groups, and I wrote them on Facebook. And this one was effective. I said, hi, name. I've seen you around in a lot of places, including Facebook, YouTube, and Referral Candy. So again, we're doing that tailoring, which was tip number one. You seem to be a pretty important VIP in the e-commerce world, and I'd like to pay you for your input on our app. Would you be willing to see a demo of the product in exchange for an honorarium of a $75 Visa gift card? Thanks. So there you go. $75 incentive to get a meeting secured, a demo secured with somebody who influences, I think it was tens of thousands of potential e-commerce sellers, if I remember correctly. But, one of the biggest groups in the space. So there you go. Focus on what they get out of talking to you, and you should boost performance of your cold emails.